Hello, welcome. Let's dive into the ethers and the archive. Spirit, what energy needs to come forward the most for the beautiful Ethereal Collective? You could have a veiled subconscious romance going on. This mystery man is finding creative ways to get you to show your shadow. This Prince of Cups seems to me like a spirit guide of some kind. It doesn't seem fully realized. It still is in the works, this connection. I keep seeing him trying to get you to open up about the dark side of yourself and not feel ashamed of it. Because you don't always have to be a perfect angel. Like, that's got to be exhausting. Even though that's who you feel you are. It's like this guide has been sent to get you to unfold more mysteries within yourself. Truly, this is a higher dimension of love and acceptance for yourself, your totality of self. I keep feeling like we're talking about water signs right now. I've been pulling so much water, all water. You could have a water moon. That might be significant. And when you have like a water moon, and even like a water sun, like I do, I actually have a water, sun, moon, and ascendant. So I can see the beauty of water and I can see the darkness of water. I can either float or drown very easily in myself. And so this spirit's trying to create equilibrium in your emotional realms. If you don't want to think of the Prince of Cups as something outside of you, you don't have to. It could be a part of yourself that's helping you. Yeah, those of you who are super watery, it's easy to get sucked into those dark emotions because we're so sensitive, right? But some of you have guardians in the primordial, the dark, chaotic waters, and in the clear, still waters. You have guardians in both realms. I might just tell a story because I went on a vision journey last night and I was talking to this snake who protected me when I was trapped in the chaotic waters. And I kind of realized that it was a part of myself. I used to be like quick to anger. I used to think I was the most amazing person in the world. I don't think that way anymore. But when I was like in my early 20s, I had an ego on me. And when I ended up trapped in the chaos for a few years, swimming through these primordial waters and stuff, like where you can barely move and you're like trapped in there, I got stuck in there by overly journeying through consciousness, like way too much. And like even when my spirit guides would be like, "Don't go there," I would do it anyways because I wanted information. And nowadays I feel content, I feel settled on my knowing, but I was seeking like crazy at one point, years and years and years ago. And while I was in those chaotic waters, this giant like serpent, a black snake, it looked like a dragon without wings. It was huge. And it could command the chaos in a way that I couldn't, and it actually saved me one time when I couldn't get out of there. I was trapped. I couldn't even move. Like my mind, my spirit was trapped in there, frozen. And this serpent saved me, and she was terrifying, okay? And I was actually afraid of her, but I loved her because she just like pushed me out. Like I got birthed out of the darkness and I could never get back in. Like it was finally over, and she was guarding me from it. But like what she said when she pushed me out was, "You're not supposed to be here. You need to leave." And she like made me leave. And it reminded me in my early 20s, how I was kind of a B word to people. I didn't like people. I'd kick people out of my space like without a second thought. I'm much more nice to people than I used to be, believe it or not. And I was like, that serpent kind of reflects my own subconscious. That might be what we're getting with this moon energy. Like when you're traveling the abyss or the chaotic waters or whatever, a lot of the stuff you see in there is like deep shadow stuff inside of you. It's really intense. And sometimes I think when I traveled that and I got rebirthed and repolarized out of the darkness into the light, I sometimes wonder if I was going through my own body, like my own womb, or if I was traveling my mother's womb or the universal womb, or maybe it's all unified. Like when we like are birthed, there's a whole process of creation and sparking creation and life that happens and building form that happens in the womb. In the same way it happens in formless spiritual ways where we spark ourselves out of nothing and we build form out of patterns and sacred geometry. I think we do the same thing in the womb. And sometimes I think when we're traveling the macro, we're actually traveling like memories of how we created ourselves in so many different levels and how we birthed and built ourselves. And it was a whole journey about that. I was like, dang, you know, this seed and this parameter I see building form could have literally been like a sperm and an egg. And I could have just been remembering myself being birthed, literally. Yeah, I was seeing it as the whole world, like all of existence, not just me, but so it's like whatever's going on in the womb is also going on in the most outermost layers of existence in the same way. It's really interesting. And so I don't fear that serpent because I think she was a part of my own shadow protecting me, to be honest. I never thought that before, but now I do. Just the way that she was like super loving yet super aggressive at the same time just reminded me of my old self. And so, yeah, it always comes back to you. So, although she seemed terrifying, she was actually very beautiful and gentle. And that's why you can never judge a book by its cover. And she changed my perspective, you know. So basically, what I'm trying to say is some parts of yourself from past timelines can live on in other realms of the mind, other dimensions of the mind. And you know that you've always got your own back. Like the past has got your back, the future you has got your present. And so, it's like some of you are too hard on yourselves. You think that you're worse than you really are. Even your bad side is a good side. Even the parts of you that are misunderstood or are in the shadows, or even parts you've rejected about your own self, were really not that scary. You were just kind of intimidating to people because you have reach, not just into the light, but into the shadow, but you're not corrupted. And people don't understand how you can be like a master of chaos without letting it corrupt you. And in the end, like when I passed through this journey, she like pushed me out of the chaos and I got rebirthed and repolarized. And after that, I slowly started going to the energy, like revisiting the energy until I was able to sort of command chaos myself. Because I admired the way that she was able to command the chaotic waters as if she owned that shit. And then the more I think about this as a part of my subconscious teaching me about myself, I should be able to command chaos too. And once you can command chaos, it's like your whole life changes, from like quivering and being weak and shrinking to like facing challenges head on and not being afraid to rise beyond these challenges and these bosses that you face. And in a way, it's like Spirit keeps emphasizing how this is all you, anyways. Like sometimes these bosses you face, or these different demons or angels or gods or whatever, are just parts of yourself on different timelines, like reflections of yourself in many, many ways, internally and externally. And so, like, in a way, you're always only facing off with yourself or your own reflection. So when you face like a demon, it could literally just be a part of yourself from the past that was on demon time. And when you face that, you get through the door to the next level. But like it's really always you facing yourself. I'm trying to make this make sense. We have that like a lot of these past timelines are parts of you it's all hidden, it's all veiled. And I do believe there are real demonic entities, like lower world entities. But for some reason, like Spirit says, that we're so guarded that the things that they send us, like levels to face or challenges to face, are supposed to be things that are aiding in your journey. So it's not just like random evil shit you have to fight. It's like all for the sake of rising in your journey. So it's like things that reflect parts of you that you're learning how to conquer in new ways. It's not the same old song and dance, like conquer and, destroy this thing. You're learning to conquer things in more subtle ways, not always in the aggressive way. So it's like you have your own snake, your own subconscious conquering chaos for you in subtle ways, moving in silent ways. Yet they're making powerful moves in your life. So some of you utilizing these shadow aspects as helpers or something you need to integrate and learn from is a good thing. It's like you don't have to run from it. You have to run from shadows or hide from shadows. It's like, and I don't think you guys do. I think you like are embracing this. You're just like, you're not a demon with it. So some people are like fighting serious demons because they've been seriously demonic in their lives. And then some of you face these demons and you find out that they're a lot nicer than you thought they were. Or for some reason they like submit to you. This is parts of yourself submitting to you. This is you realizing you were nicer than you thought you were. You were always thinking of others, even when you didn't think you were. Like, you got to give yourself more credit of your kindness. You're getting credit for kindness, even in shadowy ways, because it's like once you're face to face with the demon, it surrenders to you to show you that you're like, actually nicer. Like that's a part of you that always gave it to God or always showed love, even when you didn't want to or it was hard. Even when you thought you were being selfish, you still had that little bit of love in you for others. And when you face these demons, those demons still have a little bit of love for you. And it's just reflections of yourself. And people who face demons that have absolutely no chance of transforming, if they seem so stuck and stubborn that they won't change, it's often them parts of themselves that are stubborn and stuck. They're facing their own stuckness. And it's not even in this moment. It feels like it parallels this moment. So it's kind of complicated. But all they have to do is change their perspective or their reflection. So stop viewing it as a stuck part of you. Forgive yourself because, right, forgiveness is for you, not for them. So forgive these past parts of yourself for, making you feel like stuck and stubborn. And then the energy will soften and it will be able to transform. But if it's coming back and it won't change and it's just stuck, part of you is unwilling to change and compromise and be flexible. And that's why you're facing that entity. Because you've got to be willing to be more flexible. And then that entity will bend to your will a little bit. And very rarely is anything outside of us, but it can happen. And it only gets in when you open the door. And it doesn't have to be like you're evil, you did something horrible to open the door. You could have literally just been astral projecting without protection and pick up attachments. I mean, that's why I emphasize surrounding yourself and wrapping yourself in protection before diving into these other realms. But, by astral projecting, it is a little bit dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But if you mastered it, you're good, you're fine. Do it as you please. But seriously, like say you astral projected for years and years, like did everything under the sun, traveled the whole map, and you just did it kind of without thinking too much about it. Like it came easy to you. But now it could be like coming back full circle to this moment. All the things that you ventured into, all the things that you put your energy on, like you've marked your energy on many spaces throughout a timeline, like a whole lifetime, putting your energy in so many different pockets and spaces. And somehow those spaces created things that are pulling you back in. And it's really teaching you about yourself. Just soften up. Like demons often reflect trauma or whatever. So they'll appear like terrifying sometimes because it's trauma. It's traumatized energy. But if you view it, like literally change the vision, it'll never appear like that again. It'll start appearing more and more divine every time you see it until it dissolves. And you'll no longer even need it as a crutch. You'll no longer need anything as a crutch. Even when you work outside of yourself, or you work with gods, or you work with thought forms, or whatever it may be, you can only work with it for so long before it dissolves. If you're constantly integrating, energy naturally dissolves or transforms as you go. It's only when you're sitting there resisting and fighting yourself that everything seems to just stay in one place. So if you're consistently transforming, everything around you will transform. Even crutches to guides or anything will dissolve, and you'll integrate it, and it'll be a part of you, and it'll be just on to the next lesson. So you learn that like all these things that are happening to you are showing you parts of yourself. And once you realize that, just like I said, you can command the chaos. Just like I realized that snake was a part of me, suddenly I could command the chaos myself, whatever kind of chaos. So that's the lesson Spirit's trying to speak today. Hopefully I explained it good enough. Let's pull some more cards. Oh, we got the Hanged Man upside down. We love to see that. You are so not stuck, okay? Like I said, if you believe you're stuck, you drop yourself. If you're reckless, you can pick up attachments. I know we should feel protected, and we are, but let's be completely honest. God doesn't really love when we like dabble in the spirit world too much. And so we have to like take the initiative to protect ourselves or just stay out, one of the two. Because some doors, once they're open, they can never be closed. So as the practitioner, you have to take initiative to travel safely. Okay? You have to do that yourself. But if you're going to do it anyways, your guardians, who you should trust, are sending you lessons and these character aspects to integrate, not to scare you. And they think that you're mastered enough that you can see that scary image and then place it in your past timeline somewhere. And then, like there's like this thing where I see you like grab the demon in your hand, like there's like a demon in front of your hand, and you just like crush it in your hand somehow, and it like poofs into mist like really fast. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It's like a really easy thing to do. It's just that people run and they run and they run and they run from their fears and stuff until they can't outrun it anymore. And it becomes a big old scary monster that they can just never seem to want to face. And then eventually they'll start blaming and projecting it on everyone else to continue trying to run from the monster, when all they had to do was just squeeze it, like take the power, like a fist is a power symbol, and turn it into a mist with your fist. So I don't know why they always feel like they have to run. It's almost like an ego trying to defend itself. Like, again, it's like the ego's trying to say, oh, I'm a perfect angel. That's who I am. And all these other parts of yourself are like, yeah, you are, but you're also all these other things too. And that's beautiful, It's so beautiful. It's so much more beautiful to be diverse than to just be one little perfect angel all the time. And in a sense, you're becoming more angelic by perfecting your state of being or refining your state of being on this infinite timeline. Because you have depth between all the realms, not just the heavenly realms, but all the realms. And honestly, like, you're not the type to be blaming everyone else. You take accountability. So people need to take accountability more. They will feel less haunted. Everything reflects. So whatever comes into your space reflects something in you. even if it is an outside entity. And so, yeah, it's a quick fix. It really is a quick fix. But somebody is complicating it. Like, don't see how much they're like talking through it instead of facing it in this energy. Just talk about it, never face it though. And it's because they don't actually want resolution. If they actually wanted resolution, it wouldn't be a constant demon hunt or witch hunt or game of judgment or whatever they're doing, deflecting, running, hiding. It wouldn't be that way if they actually wanted resolution. Some people think resolution comes through fighting when resolution comes through healing, right? You're going to attract more things to fight. If you're healing, you're going to attract more things to heal. But eventually, you won't even have to feel like it's a big drawn out process. You'll be like snapping your fingers and that's all you have to do. You'll be like commanding things in subtle ways, like they said. It's not like this big show of authority. It's literally like you look at this entity, you say, I see you, I recognize your pain, because I recognize that that pain is in me somewhere. So by recognizing their pain, you're recognizing your own pain in a way that maybe no one else ever did. And it starts and stops right there in your heart and soul. Instead of letting it project and travel onto everyone else, let it start and stop right with you. Recognize the pain. Allow yourself to recognize it. There's nothing to fear. It's just a memory. It's really a necessary skill to have, especially if you see a lot of things like through your mind's eye. You see the projection of energy. That can be scary. So it's important as a seer to know how to change an image. And when you do this, you correct the image, even the image you have of yourself, right? It'll be like a big scary monster will turn into a harmless little puppy dog who's just trying to like give you kisses and stuff. Like it literally switches that quick. And the vision's settled. So, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Alright, so let's lighten up the energy. Instead of viewing it as this big demonic ordeal, right? You can just view this whole thing as maintaining your mental garden. That extends into spirit too, but it's very mental. Keep your mind right. So imagine that clearing these energies is like pulling the weeds out of your garden, Spirit is showing it all as like mental maintenance. Like you don't want these weeds to take over and ruin your crops or your flowers. And also, like, you could see a plant that seems like it's dying, but you could bring it back to life and make it beautiful again. So it's things like that in the energy world too. So regular maintenance. I know it sucks, but it has to be done. We'll keep the mind clear, stable, steady. So transform as you go. It's very simple. If you do it as you go, it won't build up into a big problem. Okay. To get rid of outside entities, maybe that you encounter in the astral or whatever, you need your armor and your shield to be full, your aura to be complete. When you have a complete shield and you basically just reinforce it every once in a while, charge your energy shield, that's all it takes to avoid attachments. And then you're free to do whatever you want. But you're going through a complete transformation. It's gonna be beautiful in the end. It always is. Sometimes, like, we are traveling inside of ourselves and we just have to, like, find the light at the end of the tunnel, come out of the birth canal, and now you have a whole new lease on life, right? And a lot of the times people who are, like, being mentally tormented, they just have way too much going on in their mind. They really need to take the time to clear channels, because those channels can stick to you like these swords sticking out of you in every direction. It is a real thing to like actively clear channels and stuff as you do your work. So just make sure you're incorporating clearing work and protective work through as you transform. Then you won't have all these thought forms or entities like all up in your channel. Because literally that can sometimes just be an open channel, like mind chatter, that you just left open, and you should probably close that door. Like they said, some doors that are opened are hard to close, but you have a lot of assistance, even in the underworld, okay? Not all underworld entities are super evil. Most of them are, but some of them have a soft spot for people they like, and they won't hurt you or attack you. And maybe if you've been, I don't know, traveling the underworld, you need to like go like tie up these channels. Imagine like water or light flowing through them, clearing them and closing them. And I get sick of people saying like sit around and do nothing. Sure, you can get into a state of mind where you just pretend like there's nothing to do and fake it until basically you just feel clear. But it's never like fully clear. It's never like fully satisfied. What really satisfies energy is the energy you put into it. So if you put all this passive energy, like, oh, just it'll pass, don't worry about it. Yeah, it'll pass, more or less. And then it will re-manifest, rematerialize again in a future timeline. Energy doesn't just go away. Like you can dismiss it like it's not there, and it'll just transport into a different place in time. It'll eventually come back. But if you don't dismiss it and you heal it, then it will never have to come back again. It'll be done. It'll be clear. So if you put energy work into these things, you get more energy reward back. If you put negative energy into things, you get more negative energy reward back. So really, like putting effort into your work pays off, and it shows the creator that you're serious, that you can handle this travel, because this travel is not for the faint of heart. See, the reason why underworld overlords connect to people, even if it's an outside entity, is because they're built by the collective, falling into lower consciousness. So when you fall into lower consciousness, you get consumed by their lesser grid. And their lesser grid has built these energy forms, these entities. Now, real gods and goddesses, they come straight out of the fabric. They're like the embodiment of the rawest energies, like the embodiment of balance or unconditional love or chaos or whatever. They're the most original signature, energy signature. And then, like, humans can also expand their energy signature to create things outside of them, like thought forms. But you don't have to do that. Like, you can keep it all inside. But also, like, we are a reflection of some of these most pure energy signatures, like unconditional love. We have a piece of that goddess or whatever it may be. So we can also create our own pieces that extend from our energy signature into outside entities that we can work with, or not. You don't have to. But lower world entities, they seem to be built out of collective minds, like all falling together. We all fall down type thing. Whereas gods and goddesses, they're not built by human minds. They're the embodiments of some of the most raw energies. And so are we. But at the same time, we're like a realized, evolved aspect of the whole, an embodiment of a purpose that the gods created for us. And we can bring purpose to aspects of ourselves in the same way. We kind of mimic what the gods do. But we all have an original signature that is not just a thought of God, but we are like embedded with purpose from God. So yeah, we connect with the gods and we kind of also do what they do. It's very interesting. And again, it extends from you anyways. So if we wanted to, we could stop calling them gods and goddesses. We could start calling it us, or something about us, something about me, something about you. Because personally, I feel like order, chaos, unconditional love, they're actual gods above me, but it might just be my own energy. My main energy could be, order, chaos, light, shadow, and love. And they all work together as one. And that could be a part of you, or you could have your own. Now let's get into this Nine of Swords. I always hate when I pull the Nine of Swords. Like, what else does this card say other than someone is stabbing you in the back, or maybe a bunch of people are snakes in the grass? And the snake is on here. So everyone has their own snake, right? And I found out that my snake was really benevolent. Other people might realize their snake is not so benevolent. But they're going to realize that if they haven't already. It's like the remnants of last year, where it's like some people's snake has either like been healed or it's only going to get more angry because they can't heal it. They can't accept their part in causing harm. People have caused me harm in my life and then like acted like it's always my fault. Like, I'm a human being too. I've been hurt. I'm allowed to say that. Like, I'm allowed to express my feelings. I'm allowed to like say that people have really caused me a lot of suffering. And yet people treat me like I'm not allowed to say these things, as if I'm not part of this world. And that's where I shoot myself in the foot, calling myself, beyond human, because the human in me is there too. Okay? I have feelings too. And I honestly am not aware of haters, but they're certainly aware of me. And honestly, they rip off my work. And I'm here doing readings for collectives of people, like groups of people, tons of people. I have no idea how it's going to hit you. I'm trying to be as benevolent as possible. And people take things so personal when I'm literally just talking to the network, just talking to the ethers. If it affects you in the right way, it sits with you in the right way, that's good. If it doesn't, move on. I'm still allowed to speak my truth, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. And I don't know these people. And the people who get it, they realize that I'm not here to cause harm. So it takes somebody like searching for a narrative, a lie in what I'm saying, for them to feel valid to attack me. They literally have to search as much as they possibly can for some kind of hole in my story just so they can talk about me, probably just to get attention or some kind of clout off my energy, because I have big energy. But then there's like the good people, they're not doing that. They're actually taking me at my word and know that I'm saying what I mean. But there's all these other people, they take things so personally. They look for every little tiny hole they can find when I literally don't know you and I'm not talking about you. So maybe you should just stop watching me, because I'm allowed to make content and create, because I have a human side too. And I have feelings. And I was extremely traumatized by how much hate I got on the internet. Like, so much hate and evil, all directed at me. And I'm like, why can they not for once, worry about something that actually matters, like something that will help people or change the world somehow? Why do they always have to focus on me? And really, I think they just like the attention they get off of linking themselves up with my energy, linking themselves up with my energy when they were not invited, like at all invited. They're not invited to my party. And they just basically crash the party. That's all they do. And I'm not going to harbor resentment, because I have to forgive these people for what they've done to me and allow myself to heal. And so they're trying to siphon my energy. It's really like obnoxious, yet they can't do it. All they can do is try, but fail, fail, fail. And they need to find a purpose for their existence that doesn't revolve around me, because I don't know them. Okay, so when I speak, I'm speaking to God's children, not to the people who are circling and searching for problems. They're exaggerating the truth because they have their own demons to confront. And just like I said, I'm not going to play victim and blame anyone, even though I've been the victim, like for real the victim. and I've had so much trauma in my life, but that does not define me. That's not who I'm going to be based off my trauma. I'm not going to let that timeline tell me who I am. Okay, so by coming at people who spread hatred towards me and trying to say, I hope you're a child of God and I love you too. Hopefully, it'll be like they'll soften up in the same way demons do and they'll stop wanting to be on demon time and spread hatred. I mean, all I can do is send love and healing and wish them the best and hope that they will leave me alone and go on their own way, feeling better about themselves, feeling like they don't need to be the snake in the bad way who's always sneaking around and deceptive and looking for trickery and lies everywhere they can. All they ever do is look for trickery and lies when really they should be looking inside. Because if they're finding nothing but trickery, they're the one being the trickster. Now, there's a fine line here because you can't expose these things without it actually being all about you, right? But that's once you've been healed. Like once you have faced all the levels, you've done the healing, you feel good about yourself, then you can travel back into the old levels and teach people about it without being affected by it. But if you're in the middle of the level, facing the boss, everything's chaos and betrayal and ego, and they got to swallow their pride. Because if you're in the middle of the chaotic storm, you still have to learn how to befriend the serpent, realize it's you. You're the mean one, not them. That's the hardest thing for people to realize. They will avoid that truth at all costs. But once they see that, there is no problem. You should be sending love and healing to all parts of yourself. You know what I mean? It's like people are caught in pride when really it's their own ego. That's all they're trapped in is their own ego. Once you've found the outside perspective and everything's grounded and centered, then it's more like you can reflect without projecting. But when people are in the middle of it all, that thing attacking them is themselves. And I swear there's so much emphasis that the ego will point the finger at everybody but the real problem, which is them, every single time. Yeah, so basically, they're stabbing themselves in the back. They have nothing to do with you. Stay on purpose, stay on mission. They think they're fighting demons, but they're fighting pride and ego. It has nothing to do with us. I'm not going to be the one running around like playing victim for sympathy. I'm embodying my strength, even though I am a victim. I used to tell all kinds of stories about what happened to me. I don't talk about it anymore because I don't need to pour that on everybody else. But when I see people coming after me, acting like it's like they're being sneaky or something, it, for one, breaks my heart, and two, is just confusing. And I'm like, there's nothing I'm doing to hurt anyone or harm anyone. So really, I feel like they're just trying to get something out of my energy that they don't have. And that's what they do. They really go outside of themselves way too much. It's everyone else. And for me, like when I go outside, I go back in, I go back in, I go back out. I don't use it as a weapon. I just want to evolve with the whole and within. And I feel like when people aren't evolving, they're out blaming and playing victim. Even if you are the victim, it's not my fault. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your mommy. Okay? I don't have to save anybody. Like, some people might need real therapy. I'm not gonna lie. But people mistake strength and pride. You've become armored, you've become shielded, and that was a lot of work to build that energy, that sanctuary. And that's not pride. Okay? Because when you're armored by God, it's like your chakras are shielded and your whole being is shielded and you're just untouchable. And you should be proud of that. And when you know you're untouchable, it's like problems of the ego don't even matter anymore. All you want to do is become the best version of yourself. Not the version the ego wants, but the version God wants, right? And you're embodying your fullness, and it's not fallen. You know, when people's solar plexus is fallen, it's pride. When it's risen, it's divine strength, endurance, you know? I don't know, there's a difference there. See what the Ten of Pentacles has to say. Yeah, strength is being self-assured, but not dominating, and having self-control. Taming impulses, being resilient, exactly. And the Ten of Pentacles upside down. No, you don't do it for the money. When you speak for God, it is never about the money. But a lot of you guys need to heal your relationship with money and with abundance. It's not always demonic to be taken care of and secure, even in energy worlds or in the physical world. You know, if people have too much and they're too selfish, then it inverts upon itself. But we all deserve to, you know, feel luxurious at times, like spoiled at times, feel taken care of, and all that good stuff, without allowing it to like get sucked into greed, you know, like every time something goes too far, then it inverts the chakra into the negative version. And that's when that entity, greed, gets in. But there's always a nice line between having what you need, you know, feeling abundant and provided for because you deserve it. And then if it's just too much and you have way too much, then it's kind of time to start giving back, right? But having money does not automatically mean that you're not spiritual. Honestly, like, I don't know why people damn the physical world like it's evil, but I think we should utilize every bit of it to help us to get stronger, right? Like, I think everything in the physical world is supposed to serve a purpose, and we don't always know why, but it has a reason. God has a reason, right? So, although money is evil, but like when good people use money in the right way, they change the energy, the frequency of money, and it doesn't always have to be so evil. The hands that the money passed through, it changes the vibrational frequency of the money with every hand it passes through. That could be anything. But everything that like passes through your energy gets like corrected to the God frequency. And so, yeah, like it could be anything. It could be the lowest of the low or whatever it is. If it comes anywhere near you, it's going to transform. And if it doesn't want to transform, like you don't even have time to play games. That's obviously someone else's problem. Because anything that comes near you is going to transform. And not just for a moment, but forever healed. Forever healed. Forever saved. Okay? Like you're always going to feel like you're safe, you're saved. Okay? Some people are still working on this level of completion. But it's in the works. And at some point, you will never question yourself or God again. Ever. So basically, just actual underworld entities, devil, whatever you want to call it, just embodiments of fallen natures, okay? They're kind of collective embodiments of just all the fallen natures. But you don't need to worry about that. Unless you're fallen, you'll have no encounters with them whatsoever, okay? Or if past parts of your timeline are fallen, that can also be something that needs to be healed, but their purpose is to teach people lessons, evil people, the hard way. And we don't need to learn any of their lessons. It's already been mastered. We see the higher reflection, right, of the lesson. God's reflection of the lesson. So God's love gets into every crack and crevice, okay? Within you, within the whole. Just invite creative energy into any space, and bam. You'll feel so fearless, so energetic, that eventually it'll be like, what problem? What demon? That doesn't exist to me. Alright, I'm going to stop talking, but as the final card, you know, doing what needs to be done, just like creating a brand new you. Like, you pop up all brand new, integrated though. It's like the full embodiment, yet integrated. So there's not a bunch of trauma and triggers anymore. You can do this. Like, I tell you, it's worth it. I've done it myself. So I speak today that all parts unify, reflect their highest self, feeling healed, full spectrum embodiment, and basically your mind is in one piece. All parts of you. Alright, that's all for this message. You know, honor your feelings. Go around those who honor your feelings. Don't let your feelings drown you in those dark waters if you're a water sign family. But understand that's part of you. There's a part of you that's very deep that people can never comprehend if they tried. And there's a part of you that is so evolved and energetic that low stuff can't even survive in your energy. And somehow you're able to carry both polarities at once. And just know that, like, your shadow might become your friend in traveling these lower realms. I don't know how to explain that entirely, but then it integrates and you just level up. Like, even the snake that I was dealing with, it integrated, and I can't even really find her anymore. But I still use it as, I view it like as I have tamed my own chaos, you know? And it stays tamed. We stay saved, all right? If we want to talk about Jesus, stay saved, okay? But that's all. Lots of love for everyone. I think I've said enough, okay? Just doing my part. And I will talk to you in another video. Take care.